Okay. Good evening, everyone representing USA, Canada, worldwide, aka international, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, Queens. I'm your man G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, YouTuber, host with the most, misunderstood lonely nomad, essential worker, unstoppable independent podcaster, and rookie podcaster of Queens, New York. And you're rocking 78th episode of Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, the review show. All right? Live and direct from StreamYard out of myself is the Instagram live feed of the podcast show page, which is Instagram. Make sure you turn on the notifications for when episodes going to drop on a weekly basis. And a reminder when the episodes are going to be dropping is it's Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. All right. And also we're live on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, you miss any previous episodes whatsoever, new or previous, don't worry. Everything is all there on the Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast YouTube channel page. Be sure you subscribe and leave a like and a comment along with the episodes and the topics, and of course tap the noti bell so you can be reminded when the show goes in the air via live stream, along with the time of the recording is going to start. Of course, make sure you stay tuned for more video content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes, whatsoever. Um, and yeah, and also be sure to share the episodes, um, share the videos, and the rest I will cover at the end of the show. How am I feeling mentally, physically, and spiritually? You ask. For the most part, um, even though I delayed this episode multiple times because of family related stuff, friend, it's just major bullshit beyond family shit though. But you know what I'm saying. But June 29th is the 1 year anniversary of Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast review show that just started. So I'm actually going to, yeah, let's start it with a I'm gonna start off with a drum roll, man, to make it more interesting. You heard it here, folks. Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast review show has reached its 1 year anniversary. How do you like them apples, man? 78 episodes in the books. Um, and we're gonna make it past 100 episodes. Don't worry about that. So I'm gonna just give myself an applause for this one. I'd like to take a moment to actually reflect on the fact that this since I started the Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast review show, it took me a while for me to gather up a name for it actually, and for me to actually come up with something positive. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't looking for anything. I wasn't looking for anything negative like that. You know, it's just I wanted to come up with a name like this one right here that you see on your YouTube screen right here is the simple fact that it's something that nobody has ever heard before. And I had explained it in episode 1 on the definition of each of these words, which is the name of the podcast actually. So you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. I'm just glad that I'm able to come here to actually, you know, catch up and be able to, take and soak in this moment of the 1 year anniversary and my sports podcast is going to reach its 1 year anniversary as well, and the New York podcast is going to reach its 2 year anniversary. So how about that, man? Like that's crazy. That's crazy, man. And I got so much to celebrate for. I don't know where to fucking begin, but I'm gonna make some noise for myself, man. Yeah, man. So of course, man, this is just for me to actually reflect. I'm reflecting right now, actually, and to make it this far, and I'm actually glad that I added gaming news to this podcast because it's going to be a time I'm going to end up reviewing some games, doing some gaming news, especially some gameplays of each game, and the upcoming games for the upcoming months. I will cover that alongside with music artists to review movies, TV shows. I'm actually glad that I'm able to do that because I wasn't able to do any of that in my New York podcast because the New York podcast is basically mainly news related and entertainment, music in terms of hip hop and stuff like that. And yeah, so there you have it. I'm actually I'm actually proud of myself. So here's what we're gonna do right now, man. So this is in honor of this month, man. Today's episode is titled "Chillin, Illin, Fillin" with some with the with some movies and 1 year and 1 year um podiversary. So that's pretty much what that is, though. So um and I kind of get it though, man. Like it can be challenging to actually reach 78 episodes per se, but I didn't think I was gonna make it out there. So, um, man. All right, so let me see if I can actually. All right, so this is just yeah, this is just something else. Um, okay. All right, so here's what we're gonna do, and I'm pretty sure I never really thought about doing this, but anyway, let's get into um let's get into the show, shall we? But let me just warm up a bit. So just give me 1 second. Actually, give me 1 second. Let me just get a sip of water. All right. All right. So we're gonna get into a little something right here called the Chillax Man Cave Popcorn Lounge right here. So let's get into it right now, though. Today's episode, we're going to be reviewing two movies, Doctor Strange and the sequel. And we're gonna be talking about some PlayStation related news and some gaming stuff. So there so there you go right there. Let's all right, so let's get into it though. Um Now before I even get into this, let me just remind the people out there that's listening, if you missed any episodes, everything is all there on every streaming platform whatsoever. So you don't have to worry about anything else. So you don't gotta worry about nothing else but to catch up on all the episodes. So it'll be it'll be like a piece of cake. So don't you worry about that. um yeah, so let me just make sure I got everything. All right, hold on a minute here. Let me just get to. Hold on a minute here. 7, 3, 5, 7. 947 357. Okay, got it. All right. Now we can get into something popping right here. So Doctor Strange, right? That's what we're gonna get into right now. Let me just set everything up here so I don't lose track of what I. Yeah, so the name of the episode right here is, hang on a minute here. So the name of the episode, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so chilling, Illin, Fillin with movies, 1 year show, and games. That's the name of it. So here we go. Now, let's get into it. Now we go to Doctor Strange. Yes, so Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is a 2016 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics character of the same name, produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. It is the 14th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The film was directed by Scott Derrickson from a screenplay he wrote with John um, Spates and C. Robert Cargill, and stars Benedict Cumberbatch as neurosurgeon Stephen Strange, along with um, Chiwetel E. Geoffrey, Rachel McAdams, Benedict Wong, Michael Stolbard, Benjamin Bratt, Scott Atkins, Mads Mikkelsen, and Tilda Swinton. In the film, Strange learns the mystic arts after a a career-ending car crash. Oh boy, a car crash? Yeah. And the budget for this movie is between 165 to $236.6 million. In the box office, it made $677.8 million. Okay, so various incarnations of a Doctor Strange film adaptation have been in development since the mid 1980s until Paramount Pictures acquired the film rights in April 2005 on behalf of Marvel Studios. Thomas Dean Donnelly and Joshua Oppenheimer were brought on board in June 2010 to write a screenplay. In June 2014, Derrickson was hired to direct Spates, writing the script. Cumberbatch was chosen for the eponymous role in December 2014, necessitating a schedule change to work around his other commitments. This gave Derrickson time to work on the script himself, for which he brought Cargill on to help. Principal photography on the film began in November 2015 in Nepal before moving to England and Hong Kong and wrapping up in New York City in April 2016. Doctor Strange had its world premiere in Hong Kong on October 13th, 2016, and was released in the United States on November 4th as part of Phase 3 of the MCU. The film grossed over $677 million worldwide and was met with praise for its cast, visual effects, and musical score. The film received an Academy Award nomination for Best Visual Effects. A sequel to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was released in May 2022, which I will review that next. Now, I don't know, man. Should I even go into the production? Yeah, I'm not gonna get into it. Let's go to the reception. So the box office, Doctor Strange grossed $232.6 million in the United States and Canada, and $445.2 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $677.8 million. The film became the biggest IMAX opening in November domestically, which is $12.2 million, internationally $24 million, and globally $24.2 million, overtaking Interstellar's records. By November 27, 2016, the film had become the biggest single character introduction film in the MCU. Deadline Hollywood calculated the net profit of the film to be $122.65 million, accounting for production budgets, P&A, talent participation, and other costs, with box office grosses and ancillary revenues from home media, placing it 11th on their list of 2016's most valuable blockbusters. Doctor Strange earned $32.6 million on its opening day in the United States and Canada, including Thursday previews, with a total weekend gross of $85.1 million. IMAX contributed $12.2 million to the opening weekend gross, with 3D contributing $24 million. The film was the number one film for the weekend and became the second largest opening in November for Disney. Initial projections for the film in late August 2016 had it earning as low as $50 million to as high as $88 million in its opening weekend, with projections revised to $65 to $75 million closer to the film's release. Doctor Strange remained the top film in its second weekend and fell to second in its third, behind Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. In its fourth weekend, Doctor Strange was the third highest grossing film, behind Fantastic Beasts and Moana. It fell to fifth in its fifth and sixth weekends, and by its seventh weekend had fallen to the ninth highest grossing place. It was projected to earn $255 million for its total domestic gross. Outside the United States and Canada, Doctor Strange earned $87.7 million in its first weekend from 33 markets, becoming the top film in all markets except um, Li- Lithuania and Finland. South Korea was the top market overall with $18.1 million. Locally, the biggest opening weekend ever for an original Marvel release, along with an all-time best opening for an IMAX film. IMAX garnered a record $7.8 million, the best international IMAX debut for a film in the month of October, with Russia seeing its biggest Saturday IMAX gross for a Marvel film. Additionally, Hong Kong $3.2 million, Thailand $2.5 million, Malaysia $2.4 million, and Singapore $2.2 million also had the biggest opening weekend ever for an original Marvel film. In its second weekend, the film in 22 additional markets, becoming the top film in China with $44.4 million, the highest 3-day opening weekend for a first installment superhero film there. China's opening was also the third highest for an MCU film, behind Avengers, Age of Ultron, and Captain America: Civil War, as well as the best 3-day opening for an IMAX film in November with $6.3 million. IMAX also set November opening records in India, um, Chile, Colombia, and Ecuador. Brazil was also a top market, earning $7.9 million. Doctor Strange remained the number one film in its third weekend for the third consecutive week in Denmark, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, Australia, Hong Kong, South Korea, Malaysia, New Zealand, and Singapore, and number one for the second week in China and Russia, which is pretty good. That's pretty good. Um, yeah, that's pretty. Yeah. It also became the highest grossing original MCU release in India, Hong Kong, South Korea, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. Its fourth weekend saw China's total gross, surpassed $100 million, an increasingly rare feat in 2016. The next weekend, Doctor Strange opened in Argentina, where it was the number one film and earned $1 million. The film's 14th weekend saw it open in Japan, where it was number one with $4.5 million. As of December 4th, 2016, the film's largest markets were China, uh, $110.3 million, South Korea, $41.3 million, and the United Kingdom and Ireland, $27.9 million. Critical response. The review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes reported an approval rating of 89%, with an average score of 7.3 out of 10, based on 387 reviews. The website's critical consensus reads: Doctor Strange artfully balances its outre source material against the blockbuster constraints of the MCU, delivering a thoroughly entertaining superhero origin story in the bargain. On Metacritic, the film holds a score of 72 out of 100, based on reviews from 49 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A on an A plus to F scale, while Post Track reported filmgoers gave it a 91% overall positive score and a 73% definite recommend. The Hollywood Reporter's Todd McCarthy called Doctor Strange an engaging, smartly cast, and sporadically eye-opening addition to the franchise, adding this action movie ostensibly rooted in the mind-expanding tenets of Eastern mysticism is different enough to establish a solid niche alongside the blockbuster combines established money machines. McCarthy, in addition to praising the acting, felt that there were certain sequences that go far beyond exception in visual spectacle, and that the time manipulation sequences seen to outstanding advantage in 3D were what mind trip seeking audiences back in Doctor Strange's origin days would have called far out, but today's fans will simply deem amazing. Peter DeBruge of Variety called the film Marvel's most satisfying entry since Spider-Man 2 and wrote that despite having the same look, feel, and fancy corporate sheen as the other MCU films, it boosts an underlying originality and freshness missing from the increasingly cookie cutter comic book realm of late. De Bruges also praised the casting along with the multitude of visual effects the film was able to achieve. Alonzo Durald, reviewing for the Rap said, in quote, true, Doctor Strange is an origin story and occasionally hemmed in by the genre's narrative requirements, but it's smart enough to bring in great British actors to make the predictable paces and life lessons feel fresh and fascinating. Regarding the film's visuals, um, Durald praised them, exclaiming, in quote, in a year where bloated, empty spectacles have induced a crushing level of CG fatigue, this funny, freaky adventure reminds us of how effective VFX can be when they've got some imagination behind them. Men- Manola Dargis of the New York Times said, in quote, the giddily enjoyable Doctor Strange is part of the Marvel strategy for world domination, yet it's also so visually um, transfixing, so beautiful and nimble that you may even briefly forget the brand. Justin Chang of the Los Angeles Times said, in quote, within the familiar narrative contours of the original origin story, writer director Scott Derrickson crams in enough out of out of body experiences, spatial temporal shenanigans, and dazzlingly um, kaleidoscopic visuals to make you wonder if he and his co-writers were dropping acid behind the scenes. Conversely, Angelica Jade Bastien, writing for RogerEbert.com, said, for all of its wondrous world building and trippy effects, Doctor Strange isn't the evolutionary step forward for Marvel that it needs to be storytelling wise. Underneath all of its improvements, the core narrative is something we've seen countless times. Mara Reinstein of US Weekly called the film joyless and wrote, despite Benedict Cumberbatch's alluring powers, he can't save an overly convoluted film in that relies on a galaxy of derivative 3D special effect tricks. Nobody is having much fun here, save for the Doctor's cloak of levitation that has its own devilish personality and can whisk him out of scary situations. Rex Reed of the New York Observer called Doctor Strange, an awkwardly cliche riddled mix of hamstrung imagination and bizarro reality, and said none of it makes any sense. For characterization, dialogue, narrative, arc, acceptable acting, and coherence go elsewhere. Adam Graham of the Detroit News said Cumberbatch is wildly charismatic in the lead role, but that's the thing. He's a better party guest than he is a host. Doctor Strange is a fine introduction, but by the end, you are not sad to be headed for the door. Okay, accolades. So, Evening Standard British Award Film Awards. Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Benedict Cumberbatch, um, Shy Weidel Ejiofor got a nomination. So, Hollywood Film Awards, Steven Soretti and Richard Bluff won the Hollywood Visual Effects Award. Hollywood Music and Media Awards. Michael Giacchino got a nomination for Best Original Score, Sci-Fi, and Fantasy Film. Critics' Choice Awards for Best Hair and Makeup, Best Visual Effects, Best Action Movie. Doctor Strange got the nomination. Benedict Cumberbatch, Best Actor in an Action Movie, got the nomination. Tilda Swinton nomination for Best Actress in an Action Movie. Best Sci-Fi Horror Movie, Doctor Strange got that nomination. San Diego Film Critics Society, Doctor Strange got a nomination for Best Visual Effects. St. Louis Getaway Film Critics Association, Doctor Strange got a nomination for Best Action Film, and it also got a nomination for Best Horror and Science Fiction film. And it also got a nomination for Best Visual Effects. Florida Film Critics Circle, Doctor Strange got a nomination for Best Visual Effects. Houston Film Critics Society, also the film got a nomination for technical achievement. The film also got a People's Choice Award People's Choice Awards. So it got a nomination for favorite year-end blockbuster. Screen Actors Guild Awards. Doctor Strange got a nomination for outstanding performance by a stunt assembled in a motion picture. Annie Awards. George Colton Bruner, Michael Marcuzzi, Thomas Bavin, Andrew Graham, and Jaeyeon Yoon won the award for outstanding achievement animated effects in a live action production. And we go to Visual Effects Society Awards. So Steven Soretti, Susan Pickett, Richard Bluff, Vincent Sorelli, and Paul Corbold got a nomination for outstanding visual effects in a photoreal feature. London, Brandon Seals, Raphael A. Pimentel, Andrew Zink, and Gregory Ng all got nominations for outstanding creative environment in a photoreal feature. And also they won. Hold on, New York City. Adam Watkins, Martin Van Herk, Tim Belcher, John Mitchell won the award for outstanding creative environment in a photoreal feature. New York Mirror Dimension, Landis Fields, Matthew Cowie, Frederick Medioni, Faraz Hamid got a nomination for Outstanding Visual Cinematography in a photoreal project. And also Hong Kong Reverse Destruction, Florian Witzel, George's Nackel, Ashol Muhammad, and David Kirshner got a nomination for Outstanding Effects, Simulations, and a Photoreal Feature. New York City, Matthew Lane, Jose Fernandez, Zayed Shirai, and Amy Shepard got a nomination for Outstanding Compositing in a Photoreal Feature. And now we go to the Art Directors Guild Awards. Charles Wood got a nomination for excellence in production design for a fantasy film. Jeremy Woodhead got a nomination for Best Makeup and Hair for the British Academy Film Awards. Charles Wood and John Bush got a nomination for Best Production Design. Richard Bluff, Stephen Soretti, Paul Corbild, and Jonathan Faulkner all got nominations for Best Special Visual Effects. Also, the movie Doctor Strange got a nomination for motion picture live action for Cinema Audio Society Awards. Alexandra Byrne won the award for excellence in fantasy film for the Costume Designers Guild Awards. 2017, of course, obviously. Jeremy Woodhead again got a nomination for feature-length motion picture best period and or character makeup artist and hairstylist guild. And he also got Jeremy Woodhead also got another nomination for feature-length motion picture best special makeup effects. Satellite Awards. Doctor Strange got a nomination for Best Visual Effects. Alexandra Byrne got a nomination for Best Costume Design. Academy Awards, Best Visual Effects. Stephen Soretti, Richard Bluff, Vincent Sorelli, and Paul Corbild got a nomination for Best Visual Effects. And Doctor Strange got nominated for Best Sci-Fi Fantasy. Benedict Cumberbatch got a nomination for Best Actor. Doctor Strange also got a nomination for Best Costume Design for the Empire Awards. And the movie Doctor Strange won the award for Best Visual Effects. Doctor Strange got a nomination for Best Production Design. Nebula Awards. Doctor Strange got a nomination for Ray Bradbury Award for Outstanding Dramatic Presentation. Doctor Strange also won for Best Comic to Film Motion Picture. Scott Derrickson got a nomination for Best Director. Benedict Cumberbatch got a nomination for Best Actor. Best Supporting Actress. Also won. Tilda Swinton won the award. John Spates, Scott Derrickson, and C. Robert Cargill got a nomination for Best Film Screenplay. And, of course, the Saturn Awards. Charles Wood got a nomination for Best Production Design. Michael Giacchino got a nomination for Best Music. Alexander Byrne got a nomination for Best Costume Design. Jeremy Wood, Best Makeup. Best Visual Effects. Stephen Soretti, Richard Bluff,
Vincent Sorelli and Paul Corbill. Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch, Rachel McAdams. Doctor Strange. Um, Choice fan got nominations for Choice Fantasy Movie, Choice Fantasy Actor, Choice Fantasy Actress, Teen Choice Awards, Dragon Awards. Best science fiction or fantasy movie. Doctor Strange got a nomination, and also another nomination for the AACTA Awards is Brandon Seals, Steven Swanson, Raphael A. Pimento, Andrew Zink got a nomination. All right, so now we go to the sequel of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Is a 2022 American superhero film based on the Marvel comics featuring the character Doctor Strange, produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. It is the sequel to Doctor Strange 2016 and the 28th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The film was directed by Sam Raimi, written by Michael Waldron, and stars Benedict Cumberbatch as Stephen Strange alongside Elizabeth Olsen, Chai Weedle, Geofor, Benedict Wong, Zochito Gomez, Michael Stolberg, and Rachel McAdams. In the film, Strange protects America Chavez, a teenager capable of traveling the multiverse, from Wanda Maximoff. So there it is. And of course the budget is $200 million, and the box office it made $955 million. Hold on one second. King Cam 94, man. Thank you for joining this live stream. Doctor Strange director and co-writer Scott Derrickson had plans for a sequel by October 2016. He signed to return as director in December 2018 when Cumberbatch was confirmed to return. The film's title was announced in July 2019 along with Olsen's involvement, while Jade Halley Bartlett was hired to write the film that October. Derrickson stepped down as director in January 2020, citing creative differences. Waldron and Raimi joined the following month and started over, adding elements of the horror genre that Raimi had worked with previously and making Maximoff the villain of the film, continuing her story from the series WandaVision 2021. Filming began in November 2020 in London, but was put on hold in January 2021 due to the COVID-19 slamdemic. Production resumed by March 2021 and concluded in mid-April in Somerset. Shooting also occurred in Surrey in Los Angeles. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse premiered at the Dolby Theater in Hollywood on May 2nd, 2022, and was released in the United States on May 6th as part of Phase 4 of the MCU. The film received praise for Raimi's direction, the visuals, and Olsen's performance, while criticism was mostly directed towards the plot. The film has grossed $955 million worldwide, making it the third highest grossing film of 2022. All right. Now we go to the box office. So the box office suggests and states, as of August 14, 2022, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness has grossed $411.3 million in the United States and Canada and $543.7 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $955 million. It is the third highest grossing film of 2022. The film grossed $42 million in ticket pre-sales through Fandango and sold the most tickets on the platform since Spider-Man No Way Home 2021, while also surpassing tickets pre-sales for the Batman 2022 within 24 hours. Yeah. Its worldwide opening weekend of $452.4 million was the ninth largest opening ever and marked the highest May debut of all time for IMAX $33 million. In the United States and Canada, the film grossed $187.4 million in its opening weekend, surpassing the $151 million opening weekend gross of Spider-Man 3 2007 to become the highest of Sam Raimi's career. It grossed $90.7 million on its opening day, which included $36 million from Thursday previews. The preview was the second best preview during the slamdemic behind Spider-Man No Way Home and the overall eighth largest preview performance, while the opening day gross was the seventh highest in industry history. In its second weekend, the film grossed $61 million, becoming one of the MCU's biggest second weekend box office drops. The 67% decline was attributed by Deadline Hollywood to the bad word of mouth on the film and its cinema score grade, while Intelligence saw more than 17% downsides of available seats for the film, resulting in lessened showtimes, which also led to the decline. In its third weekend, the film grossed $31.6 million. The film grossed $17 million in its fourth weekend for a running total of $376.1 million, passing the Batman's $369.3 million to become the highest grossing film of 2022. Of course, later surpassed by Top Gun Maverick. Yes. Outside the United States and Canada, Multiverse of Madness grossed $265 million from 49 markets within its opening weekend, landing at number one in numerous markets. The film grossed $27.2 million from 20 markets on its opening day, surpassing the first day overall results of Doctor Strange 2016 by 153% and the Batman by 210%, but falling behind No Way Home by 4%. The film had the highest opening day gross for a film released during the COVID-19 slamdemic in the Philippines and Thailand, with $1.2 million in both markets, and the second best ditto in France, $3 million, Italy, $2.2 million, and Germany, $1.8 million. In Malaysia, the film grossed $1.6 million on its opening day to become the second highest in the country's history. The film grossed $10.3 million from its previews in Latin America, including from Mexico, $3.5 million, and Brazil, $2.7 million. As of June 12, 2022, the film's largest markets are the United Kingdom, $51.4 million, South Korea, $49.2 million. Mexico, $40.6 million. Brazil, $33.1 million. And France, $27.7 million. Now we go to the critical response. The review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes reported an approval rating of 74% with an average score of 6.5 out of 10 based on 440 reviews. The website's critical consensus reads, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness labors under the weight of the sprawling MCU, but Sam Raimi's distinctive direction casts an entertaining spell. On Metacritic, the film has a weighted average score of 60 out of 100, based on 65 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of B plus to an A plus to F scale, while PostTrack reported 82% of audience members gave it a positive score, with 69% saying they would definitely recommend it. Don K of Denna Geek gave the film 4 out of 5 stars, feeling that it would please the legions of established fans by embracing the comic book weirdness of it all with vigor and abandon, as Sam Raimi creates possibly the MCU's most off-the-wall entry yet. He praised Raimi's directing style of the film, that he regarded as one of the most singularly um, identifiable vision of an MCU director. He also praised Olsen's performance, which brought a real palpable, heartbreaking grief to the part, along with electrifying single-mindedness, and McAdams' appearance, which was given more to do in the film, but felt Gomez's role was reduced to the role of exposition machine in the course of the film's events. Owen Gleiberman of Variety felt that the film was a ride, a head trip, a CGI horror jam, a what is reality Marvel brain teaser, and at moments a bit of an ordeal. It's a somewhat engaging mess, but a mess all the time. He found Raimi's direction in a number of scenes in the film had the companionable spirit and shifting imagine majestic flair he showed in the first 2 Spider-Man films. Leah Greenblatt from Entertainment Weekly praised Raimi's take on Doctor Strange and direction, saying the film felt like many desperate and often deeply confusing things: comedy, camp horror, maternal drama, sustained fireball, but different from previous MCU films. Greenblatt called this experience wildly refreshing. Having been 28 films into the MCU, Deadline Hollywood's Pete Hammond also praised Raimi's direction and storytelling, which he thought was a successfully, entertainingly mix of a kind of dark, terrifying storytelling with established MCU characters, and felt it was similar to his previous horror films, such as The Evil Dead. Emilia Ambering at IGN rated a 7 out of 10 and said that there was something about this newest chapter of the MCU, concluding that the film was a Sam Raimi film through and through. Nicholas Barber of BBC.com called it as gleefully outlandish as any independent cult. Why are you calling this? Yo, stop calling this a fucking cult movie, man. Damn, son. Oh, man. The Hollywood Reporter's John DeFore wrote that while longtime Raimi fans may be deflated by the montage battle scene in the Multiverse of Madness. The director shows flashes of his distinctive style in the following scenes. He also thought the film was unsatisfying in some respects, but praised the final act, which he felt starts to play more to Raimi's strengths. It's closer, more kinetic, and occasionally, where is it? Yeah, wait. Occasionally goofy despite the big stakes. Give me 1 second, folks. Stay with me. Oh man. Um. Okay. Justin Chang of the Los Angeles Times gave the film a positive review and also praised the film for Raimi's direction. He called the film an alternately goofy and grisly story that pauses every so often to unleash a tidal wave of grief. Chang praised the performances, particularly Cumberbatch's and Olsen's, while also praising the visuals and the film's approach to the multiverse, which he felt allowed it to pose a few playful questions about fate, um, predestination, and human decency, and its difference from traditional quick a minute tone that is the Marvel Enterprises' preferred comic idiom. Empire's Dan Jolin rated the film 4 out of 5 stars, praising Raimi's direction and the action sequences, which he felt were creative, and felt the film was Marvel's most deranged and energetic movie yet. As much of a winning combat for director Sam Raimi as it is a mega budget exercise in universal stakes raising. David Sims of The Atlantic called the film surprisingly good and also praised Raimi's direction, remarking that he was glad to see space for a real genre auteur amid all the multiversal um, machin- machinations in the MCU, though he criticized the pacing and the cast. Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian rated the film 3 out of 5 stars and gave the film a critical but most positive review. He concluded his review by saying that infinite realities tend to reduce the dramatic impact of any one single reality and reduces what there is at stake in a given situation. Nonetheless, it's handled with lightness and fun. IndieWire's David Ehrlich also gave a more critical review as he felt that Doctor Strange's character had been diluted after the events of No Way Home, and said slowly, gradually, and then with great enthusiasm, what begins as a staid tale of people hurling CGI at larger pieces of CGI while yammering on about whatever new thing is threatening all existence evolves into something less familiar, a violent, wacky drag me to several different hells at, at once funhouse of a film. he remarked that while he thought Raimi's style in the film was not enough to make Multiverse of Madness a great movie, it was enough to make it a real Sam Raimi movie. Brian um, Ta- Tarico of RogerEbert.com rated the film 2 out of 4 stars and gave it a negative review, feeling the film was sewn together from pieces of other films, comic books, and TV shows, was given life with the electricity of a Marvel budget and labeled it a Frankenstein movie. He criticized the characterization in the film and felt that the story keeps coming back to incredibly shallow character traits like Wanda's grief, Strange's outspoken love for Christine, and or America's uncertainty about her own powers. Instead of focusing on the potential of the multiverse and criticized the use of CGI, though he added that the film did contain Raimi's visual flair. Alonzo Durald of the Rap Gate also gave a negative review comparing the film's use of the multiverse that to that of everything everywhere all at once, and wrote Daniel's boldly inventive indie movie explodes with wit and nerve and character, most of which are prominently missing from this latest MCU adventure, and also criticized the screenplay of the film, which he thought was so crowded with plot and incident and magical um, doodads. There's no room for the characters, though. He praised Elfman's score and the visuals. Okay, the accolades. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is nominated in three categories at the 2022 Golden Trailer Awards. Nightmare Wildcard for Best Fantasy Adventure and Best Summer 2022 Blockbuster Trailer, and Ready Wildcard for the Best Summer 2022's TV Spot. The film is nominated for several awards at the 47th Saturn Awards, including Best Superhero Film, Best Supporting Actor in a Film for Wong, Best Film Music Composer for Elfman, and Best Film Visual and Special Effects for Joe Rondura, Rafin, um, Arnarson, Eric Winquist, and Joe Lettery. So yeah. So let's go to let me see what else we have. All right, so let's go to our next segment right here. And this is involving gaming, and this is, hold on, let me just set this up right here. Let me set this up right here. So all you gamers out there, of course, including the new ones, welcome to the video game chamber. All right. Now, PlayStation involved has involved some gaming console, but let's go to PS5 for a second. All right, so, and this is according to pushsquare.com website. Okay, so which shops have PS5 stock for August 2022? Where can you currently buy a new PlayStation 5 console? Demand for the PS5 has exceeded supply, leaving many unable to purchase a next-gen console. Sony has suggested that it's working hard on making more units. Having, excuse me, secured additional component inventory from some of its key manufacturing partners. However, it's warned that there's no quick fix to the current stock situation due to an overall shortage in semiconductors. Nevertheless, as part of our PS5 guide, we're going to explain which stores have PS5s in stock right now, when you can get when can you expect new supply to become available, and what times those product pages will go live. Please keep in mind that stores have been quite random with stock availability, although we're endeavoring to ensure this page is accurate as possible. Um, As such, if you are looking to buy a PS5, bookmark this article and check back for updates on when and where you can get one. You can also learn how to get PS5 stock notifications through this link. And let's see where PS5 stock, when and where can you buy PS5 in North America? Of course, um, in North America, more PS5 stock is being made available to order. Here's when and where you can buy a PS5 in the USA and Canada. Of course, obviously, it's already happened. So obviously, it already happened. So it's like I'm out of stock or whatever. So you won't be able to get it. So it's probably out of stock. So Amazon US, Best Buy, and GameStop is out of the PlayStation 5. Um, so PlayStation Direct out of stock, Target out of stock, Walmart in stock at inflated prices, in stock August 2022. It already happened in Walmart August 12th. PS5 stock, when and where can you buy in UK? For the UK, Amazon UK, of course, you have to request invitation. Horizon bundle in stock inflated prices. Horizon bundle in stock. Um, Argos out of stock. Horizon bundle out of stock. Curry's out of stock. Game in stock plus bundles available, but out of stock as well. Oh shit, it's already out of stock. Okay, and yeah. So PlayStation Direct in stock. Um, it got posted August 18th. Um, so Shop 2 is out of stock. Smith's Toys out of stock. The game collection bundle available out of stock as well. Damn. So PS5 games, of course. The PS5 might be in limited supply right now, but there's nothing stopping you getting prepared for when you finally get a system. There are plenty of PS5 games you can purchase right now, including top-notch launch games like Demon's Souls, Spider-Man's Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Sackboy: A Big Adventure. Check out the following links to see the range of PS5 games available. Yeah. And of course, obviously there's more. There's more. Yeah, there's more actually. Yeah, this is like obviously there's more. Um all right, there's more. Let me just do this. Okay, PlayStation Plus. All right, PlayStation Plus adds 12 new PS5 and PS4 games for subscribers. And this is according to the comic book um, website. So Sony has today added 12 new games to PlayStation Plus for subscribers to play across PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 consoles. At the start of this month, PS Plus Essential members were able to begin downloading August's on three new titles, which included Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 1 plus 2, Yakuza Like a Dragon, and Little Nightmares. And while this lineup at a baseline level was quite strong for the month, those who are subscribed to PS Plus Extra and PS Plus Premium can now look to get their hands on an even larger game number of games. As of this moment, the 12 new games in question coming to PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium have become available to download. The slate is notably headlined by three establishments in the Yakuza series from Sega and stands as the beginning of the franchise's full addition to PS Plus before the end of 2023. Outside of Yakuza, Sony has also now added some shooters, party games, and a remake of a classic JRPG to the subscription platform. Of course, here's a full lineup of new PS Plus games that are now accessible. Here we go. You got Yakuza O, I think. No, this is 0. Yeah. Yakuza Kiwami, Yakuza Kiwami 2, Dead by Daylight, Ghost Recon Wildlands, Bugsnax, Metro Exodus, Trials of Mana, Everspace, Uno, Multiply, Monopoly Madness, and Monopoly Plus. Likely the only thing about PlayStation Plus that has disappointed extra and premium subscribers lately comes with Sony's offering for retro games, even though PS Plus now has a catalog of PS1, PS2, PS3, and PSP games to play. Sony has been slow to add new titles to the service that come from these platforms. So much so, in fact, that a number of subscribers have started to complain about the lack of old school titles. Whether or not we'll see a big change on this front in the coming months remains to be seen. But if nothing else, at least the PS5 and PS4 offerings remain relatively strong. What do you think about these new games that have today landed on PS Plus? Are you going to check out any of these PS5 and PS4 titles for yourself? Of course, you can let me know either the comments and down in the comments or hit me up on Twitter. You can hit the person up at moreman12 on Twitter. Yeah. Now, let me see. Also, in other gaming news, and this is according to Game Rant. Why it'll take years for PS Plus to catch up to Xbox Game Pass? That's the question. So PS Plus has been playing with a deck stacked against it from the beginning, and will have an uphill battle to reach the level of Xbox Game Pass. When Xbox Game Pass launched in 2017, it was revolutionary for the gaming industry. Trying to replicate the success of Netflix, Xbox Game Pass offered subscribers the chance to play hundreds of games, many of which they might never play otherwise, for one low monthly price. Since its inception, competitors have popped everywhere to try to capture a piece of the pie for themselves, but none have had the suite of options and reputation of Microsoft's offering. Earlier this year, Microsoft's biggest competitor, Sony, retooled its PlayStation Plus service to frame it as a competitor to Game Pass, but unfortunately, it has been relatively unsuccessful. While PS Plus Premium has some advantages over Game Pass, its subpar game offerings and loyalty to the digital brand has Sony facing an uphill battle. Game Pass was experimental when it first launched. Microsoft treated the service similar to the current version of PS Plus Premium, offering quantity over quality. But as Xbox Game Pass has shifted toward a fresh market, PlayStation Plus remains in the past. Older nostalgia games are a welcome sight, but pale in comparison to Microsoft's offerings. As time has gone on, Game Pass adapted and offered premium games and content without raising its prices, something Sony needs to do sooner rather than later. The biggest advantage for Game Pass is its day one releases. Microsoft has prioritized making as many games as possible available on Game Pass right away, with everything from small indie games to huge AAA franchises. A Game Pass has grown. Game studios have seen the benefits of a built-in audience, thanks to a large part to its inclusion on Game Pass. Forza Horizon 5 had the biggest release in Xbox history at the time. Even Sony's own MLB The Show 22 was released on Game Pass at launch. If Sony is going to give away one of its most popular in-house titles, PS5 Plus isn't anywhere close to the product of Xbox Game Pass. Rather than keeping hope alive that it would change, Sony announced that PS Plus won't contain day one releases and doesn't have any immediate plans to make the shift. Looking at raw numbers, one thing that could be affected Sony is the net worth of each company. With all of its with all of Microsoft's products offerings within and outside of gaming, it carries a $2.11 trillion valuation as of this writing, according to Yahoo Finance, compared to Sony's relatively small $108.94 billion. Wow. Sony could easily afford to put premium games on PS Plus immediately, but it may be harder to get the full buy in from executives. It's easier for Microsoft to eat the upfront cost of those high games to turn over into long-term subscription fee profits. In the gaming industry, money talks, and Microsoft has more wealth than anyone else. True. To its credit, Microsoft has earned the benefit of the doubt with Game Pass, repeatedly putting the best titles on its uh, service and lightly affecting console sales. There are amazing perks for both the Xbox Series and PlayStation 5, but there is an increasing group of fans that have migrated toward Xbox because their favorite games may be on Game Pass. When the consoles were first released, it was easy to see why some preferred Xbox when PlayStation still didn't have an elite subscription service. Sony was too slow at creating a true Game Pass competitor and lost out on building a loyal subscriber base. If Sony wants to catch up to Microsoft, it will have to start offering real value by completely altering its release strategy and providing its best games to fans. Time will tell whether it succeeds with retooling PS Plus. All right. Let me see if there's anything else that I need to get into. Yeah. Um. Yeah, I think that's it, man. I think that's it, actually. Yeah, I think that's it, though, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think that's it. I forgot about that. Anyway, let me get this. Anyway, let me see. Let me see. Yeah. All right. I think that's gonna do for episode 78. You like what you heard? Of course, if you like to support this show right here, you can go ahead. You're more than welcome to do that. You can donate to my Cash App, which is $G Money Stacks 555. That's $, capital G, lowercase MONEY, capital S, lowercase TACKZ, 555. 555. And you don't need a lot of money to show moral support. It's all about doing the best you can on whatever amount of money you can afford and comfortable to donate will be appreciated. So there you go, right there. And I'm going to go to um, I'm gonna go to a segment. I'm gonna go to a segment right now called instead of me going to podcast free game mechanisms, I'm going to go to stream choices on the go right here. Here we go. Of course, you like what you heard in today's episodes or any previous episodes whatsoever, you can show some love by following Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast on Instagram, alongside with my sports show, um, Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast, alongside with the number one show, Off the Meat Rack Chains New York podcast on Facebook and Instagram. I just recorded episode 177 and 178. You can go check it out on my YouTube channel page, which is G Money Stacks 555, of course. And yeah, make sure you turn on your notifications. And you can also follow me on the gram as well, which is my primary handle, G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. And you can turn on your notifications for when I'm going to be on Instagram Live and when I'm going to be having some stuff to review, unlike today. And of course, you can go to the link in bio where it says Linktree / Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast. All right, so that way you can get an idea. You can also leave a voice message on anchor.fm / Meticulous Vibe Juice Pod, which is anchor .fm. And yeah, you can catch up on the episodes on every streaming platform as I go on. So let's get into where you can listen. So you can listen on Anchor, Audible, Audacity, Amazon Music, Breaker, Cashbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podfriend, Podopolo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Reason FM, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts, and you can give a 5-star rating and a review to Podchaser, Podfriend, and Spotify. And of course, you can listen to Meticulous Vibes podcast review show episodes on Radio Public, alongside with iHeartRadio, the number one app for music, radio, and podcast. Make sure you follow my other shows that's on iHeartRadio as well, which is excellent, fun, vibrant podcast, the Sports Edition show, which is going to go through a name change real soon. It's just going to be an added word to the title. You have to stick around for that sports podcast episode in the future, and and you can also follow Off the Meat Rat Chains New York podcast on iHeartRadio as well. And last but not least, the YouTube. Make sure you grab that subscribe button and go ahead and click on the naughty bell so you'll be reminded when the show goes in the air via live stream. More video content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes. Leave a like and a comment along with the episodes and topic reviews that's being discussed. And share the episodes, share the videos, download these episodes. Be sure to stream the episodes, listen to the episodes, and tell a friend to another friend. Spread the word. Word of mouth is important. And of course, be sure to share the podcast along with the Linktree / Meticulous Virtues podcast link. We're all your streaming platforms. Make sure you follow the podcast shows on every streaming platform that I just mentioned. And, share that with your wives, your husbands, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your friends and the people that you're cool with from work and all that other great stuff. And listen, this has been an interesting episode for me to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of Meticulous Virtues podcast review show. I'm glad that I made it to a year already, and I'm gonna do the same with the sports podcast that I am going to reach a 1-year anniversary in September. It got started on September 19th. So I'm gonna do a feature episode celebrating that. So this is a big win for me. This is a big win for me, actually, man, for me to celebrate before 2022 ends. And of course, yeah. So this has been fun. I'm actually glad to be able to do some reviews of each music artist, games, movies, TV shows, and you just name it. I'm glad that I added gaming news to it, so I can actually, you go over the gameplay for you gamers out there that's listening and all that other stuff. So that's pretty good on my part. So yeah. So like I always say at the end of the show, the grind does not stop. Hard work pays off. New York was not built in a day, and you just have to trust the process, find your voice, and be confident behind your voice. Whether you are behind the microphone, as far as like radio personality, podcasting, or whatever career field you're doing, you just have to find something that makes you happy mentally, physically, and spiritually, and what gets you into your zone. You know what I'm saying, folks. You gotta find something that makes you happy mentally, physically, and spiritually. And consistency is key. Confidence is key. And of course, obviously, don't let anybody stop you from accomplishing your goals and dreams. And for the most part though, even if it's your parents, don't let them stop you. Even if they're not happy or whatever, like it doesn't matter what the amount of money it is.
It's all about you and what makes you happy and what makes you click. You know what I'm saying? So there you have it, folks. I'm G Money Stacks. Thank you very much for listening and hanging and rocking with me in episode 78, titled Chillin, Illin, Fillin with movies, 1 year, and games. So be careful out there. Be safe. I know things has been kind of crazy lately with all these stabbings and shootings and shit like that. And for the most part, listen, it's not about just because a person is scared does not make them a weak person. You know what I mean? It just doesn't really make any sense to actually belittle somebody because they're scared of certain stuff. Like, it's not about everywhere, okay? It randomly happens. This wasn't planned. I'm pretty sure this shit wasn't planned. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, man, enough about that shit though, man. So I'm glad you are here with me celebrating the 1 year anniversary with me, and I am going to continue to do more years of anniversaries and stuff like that with you folks out there, which I truly, truly, truly appreciate you most of the time. And I'll see y'all next time in the next episode.
And of course, be careful out there, and be safe out there. Peace and one love, and have yourselves a good night.